What is my fundamental objection to the advice that Zeus is giving young men? My fundamental objection is not that the advice doesn't work. The advice can work. I think everyone knows that even if it's 1 out of 100 or 1 out of 1,000 or 1 out of 10,000, eventually his advice will get results for people. And for some people, the success rate is going to be enough to positively reinforce those behaviors again and again. So like to give an example, a big part of his advice is just walking up to random women at the gym and, talking game to them. Well, if a guy does that and it works once, in his mind, that's probably going to justify doing it 1,000 more times, even if it fails 999 times and then works one more time again. It's really easy for me to see how that can lead to a self-reinforcing loop of behaviors and on a deeper level, a set of values that changes who you are as a man. And that's the side of the equation I wanted to draw attention to in this hopefully concise video. Okay? I can't say that it won't work, that it won't get results if you send out nude photos of yourself to 1,000 women. There's a whole side of the internet that exists for that reason. There are special websites where that's encouraged, where that's acceptable. And again, I don't know if it works 1 time out of 1,000 or 1 time out of 10,000. I can't tell you not to do that because it won't work. I'm telling you not to do that because I'm asking you to think about what kind of a man you want to be and who you want to become. And not even all that long term. I mean today, I mean this year, I mean just the next couple of years. And the type of women you're courting and the way you're meeting them, the way you're pursuing them, the relationships you bring into your life and what you learn from them, that is a big part of who you are as a man. That is a big part of who you become. Okay? There's a lyric in a 50 Cent song where he advises his listener, don't chase women, chase money, because when you chase money, the women come with it. Very common sentiment in our society today. Very common advice from pickup artists who just say, well, focus on your career in order to get laid. You got to think that through. That's going to change how you think about your career, how you value things, how you behave in your career. That also changes who you are as a man in ways both shallow and profound. All right? And I just want to throw in a few words here of self-criticism. Right now, and in the last 3 years, I meet women through YouTube. I'm in a committed relationship. I met her on YouTube. If someone who knew me before, my life before this, said to me, hey man, you've changed. You've changed since you started pursuing women on the internet this way, I'd say, yes, you're damn right I have. I'm sorry, that makes it sound like I'm private. You're damn right I have. No, I have changed, and I'm self-critical and I'm self-aware of that. I have changed. And you know what? Before, I used to meet women at the university library. I used to meet women at academic conferences. I used to meet women at manuscriptoria and National Archives and shit. Okay? I'm self-critical about that too. I'm not like saying to you in a simple black and white sense, like meeting women at the gym is bad and meeting women at an academic conference for cancer research is good. I'm not saying that. If you go to academic conferences, you can see and feel the difference between the guys who are just there for the conference, who are just there to present their research, just there to talk about their paper, whatever it is, and the guys who are there hoping to meet a member of the opposite sex, or maybe hoping to meet a member of the same sex. The guys who are there looking for that whole range of human experiences, from one-night stands to commitment relationships with a lot of gray areas in between. It changes you. It changes what you're doing at that conference and the way you're doing it. It changes whether or not you got your hair and you got your suit on point when you go to the conference. Sure, that's a shallow level, but I'm telling you in a profound sense that there really is a difference between the dudes who are doing a job, who become a lawyer, who are pursuing that social status in order to get laid, and the guys who are becoming a lawyer, sure, to make the world a better place, to do human rights law, and do something else. And there were guys doing human rights law to get laid, because that's what they're into. You know, yes, this is something that changes who you are and how you're living in all these walks of life. It's really easy for you to think you have one part of your life that's your career, one part of your life that's your education, and a separate part of your life, a separate compartment. That's your sexuality. Fundamentally, I want to tell you, that's just not so. You learn a lot and you change a lot given the women you open the door to in your life. The women who come into your bedroom, the women who come into your life, the women you share your time with, the women you're eating breakfast with. All that is built into even one-night stands, let alone long-term relationships or attempted long-term relationships that maybe don't turn out to be so long-term, okay? You learn from the women in your life. You learn from them more than you want to admit to yourself you're learning. Whether you're dating shallow hoe bags you met at a bar, random chicks you met at the gym, or women you met at an academic conference about cancer. You're learning all the time. You can't turn that off. You're changing. The type of man you are, how you conduct yourself in pursuing women, and then what happens after that when you bring those women into your life, when you do get laid, when the advice does work. That changes you in ways you can't fully anticipate. You can't fully understand yourself. And that's why I find the advice from Zeus so dangerous. It's not because it doesn't work, but because it fails to appreciate that your sexuality, just like your politics, ultimately is a decision about what kind of man you want to be, what kind of person you want to become.